non-stop bubbles. You can't pick them up on this camera very well, but they are non-stop. It's been about 7 days. I think I got about 12 hours into this project, and this clutch will not bleed. So I have a multitude of issues going on here. Initially, I was able to get the clutch working, and it was the rear brake that I couldn't get done. And then I did the zip tie trick, and now the rear brake literally engages right there. That's the rear brake. There is no clutch. And if I lock it in, so right now the clutch is, it's pretty resistive, but it feels pretty normal as to the way a clutch would probably feel. However, when I come down here to the Recluse, and so right now, and yes, you'll see that my banjo bolt is broken. I broke it after the 20th time of loosening it and tightening it and bleeding it, pulling my slave cylinder twice. I've replaced the crush washers 3 times. I have went through almost a complete bottle of brake fluid. My bike is pretty much bathed in brake fluid. I mean, this is just all brake fluid everywhere. And now if I set this thing where it's supposed to be, so it's loose, and it gets tight right about there. And then if you do it like Recluse says to do it, and you go 1 full turn, and they say +2, so it's about right there. But that definitely is going to be a problem. So as soon as you go to use the clutch, it sticks. And it does it every single time. And I could sit here and I could bleed this thing for an hour, and it'll constantly have bubbles. They never go away. I've done this one, pull it out, wait till fluid comes out, put it back. I have done vacuum and 2 different forms of pressure and vacuum. 3 different ways I've done this thing, and nothing has been able to get this clutch to work. I also have something weird going on where one, my brake, I mean, literally that's as far as you can pull it back. That is my brake. Rear brake is engaged right there. If I spin the tire, it will not spin. But also, if I put it in only clutch and pull it back, that's also rear brake. So the rear brake now will not spin again. So I don't understand how that is possible, but it is certainly, let's see, I think I should be in neutral. Let's see. So right there is, it does not, see that? That is my rear brake locking up by pulling it in. And it just stays there. And I can adjust this. I've probably got 100 adjustments on this Recluse. I've done it right while it's running, while it's sitting still. I could push this, and normally it'll pop that out somewhere. Maybe it won't this time. But it doesn't matter if I go back 2 ticks. Essentially, the auto clutch works, but the Clake does nothing whatsoever. It worked one time prior to the rear brake working, and now that the rear brake works, I'm just so fed up with this. I've got so much time invested in this thing, and I cannot get it to stop creating bubbles and having the pressure like the video you guys show supposed to do. It just doesn't do it. So I have the recluse pulled out, so now it works like it normally would and pops back out. I have another cable on order. I don't know what else to do with this thing. I've literally tried everything I could think of to make this work. I've adjusted this thing. I've popped it out 100 times. I shit you not. I have probably went like this. I bet I got 5,000. 5,000. Look, just from doing that, there's bubbles. It never stops. It never stops. I've sealed here. I've torqued it down pretty good. Like I said, I've been through my crush washers 3 times. I also had to pull this, and then I can't even use it around the front where it goes right here, because when you turn all the way to this side, and it's still doing it, it's still, you can see it, still pulls it tight right there, even though I moved it, but it was pulling it really tight. So down here you could see this is pretty tight. So and this is lined up right where my finger would go if I was going to use it as a clutch only feature, which I don't know that I even would do that, but that should be probably where most people would put this thing. And so the clutch cable is not even long enough to do that, even if I wanted to. So I don't know, man. I just need to get some help on this. All right, thanks.